Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Insomnia Team. It is 5 a.m. where I am, and I have yet to lay my head down for a nice nap, but that's just how I do it. You know, I come alive at night, and that's when I like to work and really dig into this interesting stuff and go down the rabbit hole, so to say. And again, I have a mysterious new piece of footage. I spoke about this in my last video. A viewer of mine, just this past week, was tracking the California wildfires using a website called the COD Meteorology Weather Lab. And basically it's just a tool that gives you a bunch of different ways to analyze the weather in various parts across the United States. And then it gives you a list of tools here of what way or wavelength that you want to see the data in. So, for instance, they just have the basic visible spectrum, they have infrared, they have water vapor, and they have radar. So you have all of these different ways. And so the viewer was using the water vapor tool, which, just as the words state, gives us a look at the current water vapor or cloud conditions over the United States. That's all we see nothing else. And as he was watching this area over Southern California, not thinking anything out of the ordinary was going to happen, when he suddenly noticed an anomaly, definitely unordinary. He witnessed an object blasting up through the clouds in a direction that looks to be almost like it's coming from the coast of California, heading up through the clouds, growing larger and larger, so going higher and higher up in the atmosphere to the point where it was above the clouds. And that's when you see this very large, dark object flying, completely blasting through the sky in a southeast direction. You're seeing that looped over here. So as I'm talking, you can see this thing looping. The object comes into frame right over California, grows larger as it's gaining altitude, and that's when we see this black object with what appears to be the producing of almost like you would think of a bow shock in front of the object or objects. Actually, it looks to be like there's two objects here, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But as you guys are seeing it, right when it comes into frame and you get a good look at it, you can see this atmospheric effect happening around the object. Again, like a bow shock. It's technically like when you would think of a boat that is traveling through the water, which then has an equal but opposite effect on the water and begins to create ripples around the boat as it moves through. Well, take that example and put it to the atmosphere, and that's what we're seeing. It's a phenomenon that can also be seen with some of the world's most fastest jets. That you'll start to see this vapor cloud. Some call it a vapor donut, but it's a circular vapor cloud that appears circling around the craft. And so we've been showing you the zoomed in shot of this object, okay? And I've been analyzing it here. And there's a few things I notice about it, okay? One, it's moving at an extremely high rate of speed, coming from what looks to be the coast, piercing up through the clouds. Starts as a small little black dot. It grows bigger. And as I played with the footage and I upped the contrast, lowered the brightness a bit because this is really washed out, it gave me some more detail about what I was looking at. And as I analyzed the footage and slowed it down, I noticed that this isn't just one object. There is a second object that is flying up with the first one, almost as if they're meeting. And it only happens in a couple of frames before that second smaller object disappears. I don't know if it's, it's attached to this larger one, but I'm going to show you that here. So we're going to go step by step, frame by frame, and then we're going to stop it right as this second object appears. So here we are. Here is the small black original object flying up, and right here is where you see this larger object appear. See, this object that we're seeing coming in from the coast may not even be what this large object is that we see at the very end. Because you'll notice that this small black dot, it gets to this area right here. And as I pause it here, and we'll just go through these little 3 frames here, you can see 2 objects. You can see the small black dot here on the left that we see coming up from the coast, and that's when we see this other larger black object appear right next to it, to its right side. And so if that is indeed what we're seeing here, then that would mean that this larger object has just appeared out of nowhere. And as we go a few frames further, you can still see both objects moving together with the black object growing larger and larger, creating more of an atmospheric disturbance around him. And that's where the frame loop stops. The smaller black object has now vanished, and all we see in this last frame is the large, black, unknown, completely mysterious structure, as it would appear to be growing higher and higher in altitude. Who knows, is it heading towards space? And that is a very good possibility, because this is coming from a satellite, guys, a weather satellite. So this is not just some little plane, okay? This satellite, for it to be able to pick up something this large, that means that this object is not only very large, but it is high up in the atmosphere and is so close to the satellite that the satellite can actually pick it up. Because I can assure you, these weather satellites, they do not pick up your standard commercial airliners, which are much lower in the atmosphere and that do not move at such a high rate of speed. Nor does this look like a plane, and I do realize it is blurry, but it's the best resolution we can get. This doesn't look like a plane. And so the question is, what is it? What is blasting over California, heading over Nevada and Arizona and Texas? Where is it? Where's it coming from? Is it coming from the ocean, which is also a major hub for UFO activity? And again, this region here where this thing appears, another major hub of mysterious activity, testing from the secretive bases, Area 51, Dulce, and, that's up for you guys to debate. So, mysterious, unknown flying object here, caught on this weather satellite, noticed by chance by the viewer who was kind enough to contact me. So, let me know what you guys think. I'll post a link to this. Unfortunately, on the website, you can't go back in time, and it's only live. But you can go over to the site, you can loop things over, you can look at the Earth in different wavelengths, and I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on it to see what more we can find flying through our skies, whether it's in infrared, whether it's with this water vapor. We'll find out, and we'll find something. So big thanks to the viewer who sent this over. What do you guys think? Now, lastly today, I just have to touch on this real quick. We have some more recent news about Tom DeLonge's new company, his new UFO venture that he has so far raised over $300,000 for from people and crowdfunding. We spoke about this in a couple of videos in the past, and if you're not caught up, just Google Tom DeLonge and you can learn about this company. But I haven't felt right about it from the beginning, and my thoughts were confirmed after UFO Seekers posted a video basically outing Mr. DeLonge, who it would appear has set up this company in hopes of raising this money to offset nearly $500,000 in debt that he accumulated in past companies that he has operated that have gone bankrupt. And this company he's created, To the Stars, again, is in the middle of a web surrounded by 16 other LLC corporations, and of this new company that he wants you to invest in, he's selling 50 million shares, and they're valued at 1/10 of a penny each, but he is selling them to you for $5 each, with a minimum investment of $200. So in other words, for $200, you get 40 shares that are actually only worth 4 cents. But that's not what I want to talk about today, okay? This is info that's already been out there. But what I want to talk about today is this new breaking story after Tom has indicated that he is setting up a crowdfunding campaign, or is using maybe his current funds that he has raised so far in order to build a spaceship. Tom DeLonge's new UFO Academy is crowdfunding a spaceship. The ship will travel instantaneously through space, air, and water by engineering the fabric of space-time. Wow. Really, Tom? Is that so? So you're telling me with about 300 grand, which is nothing, you are suddenly going to become the new Elon Musk and create a spaceship that will bend the fabric of space? Posting on his Facebook that, quote, "We are aiming to build this electromagnetic vehicle to travel instantaneously through space, air, and water by engineering the fabric of space-time. Our company is called To the Stars, and you can invest in all caps, invest in our plan to revolutionize the world with technology that can change life as we know it. So again, when I saw this new report about him wanting to be his first phase of his new company to create what would be mankind's most greatest achievement, to create some sort of interstellar spacecraft, that's something that even Elon Musk would probably get weak in the knees in attempting. And he's going to do it with $300,000 or $400,000 or $500,000. So again, it rings false to me. It's a lot of big promises when the math and the money is just not adding up. He's not going to be able to do any of this stuff with the money that he's investing. All right? And then there's just the dubious stuff behind the investments, the cost of each share. And my point here is, and I've spoken to probably hundreds of you on Facebook and Twitter and through emails who have messaged me about this, that why can't Tom or any other guy like him who comes out and claims to be working with all of these high-level government people who are now spilling their guts to him, why does he have to build a company, a multifaceted entertainment company? Why can't he just release the information, release some photographs, all right, release some video, all right? Post to YouTube of you interviewing some of these high-ups and tell us what they know. Why do you need to raise $500,000 plus more, gunning for millions here, to just give us what we've been doing on YouTube for years and posting little pieces of the puzzle as we get them, because that is how this search works. And I don't think that would be much of an ask for any of you guys. Do you guys agree? My Secureteam squad family, I think you do. You're all smart people. So that's my rant for today, guys. Thanks for hanging in there if you haven't clicked off already. But be sure to stay tuned. I want to thank you all. And Insomnia Team out.